Christine, you're special. And I remember that day in the family at East Street Gospel Chapel, just a few weeks ago, when you told me that story, the pathos and the pain. I remember the case history in the book. And I said to you, you look so well, and what happened to the child? And what did you tell me?
My son is doing really well.
How old is he now?
He will be 50 this year. And I am so proud of the man that he is. When after I had him, I don't think I had what was needed to nurture him. But like I said, when my family stepped in, so I was able to finish high school and had a sister who took care of him, who had just finished high school. She took care of him while I finished high school. Then God blessed me with a full ride scholarship. I had that same second sister, and my mom, my parents helped to raise him. Today, he's an IT specialist. He lives in the U.S.
He's an IT specialist?
Yes. He is doing really well. But the thing about him is he's very sensitive to my moods. If he calls me and something is off, he'll say, "Mommy, what's going on? Everything okay?"
Are you saying that's connected to the pregnancy?
I don't know. I don't know, but he's very intuitive. It was us.
He was a little baby inside you. Your container, Professor Brian London talks about the container model of life. That we have the child and the mother, the father around the mother, then you have the family around, you have the church around. So we all live in a container. So in other words, you were his container, and now he's grown, he's living in the States and doing very well.
He's doing well. It won't be every time, but...
Can you imagine, suppose you had an abortion?
That's what I was going to say. I look at him and I say...
Suppose you had.
I don't know.
Just imagine what would that be like for you now?
I think the shame would have been compounded. What I know now about abortions and how it affects your lives, I don't know. Would I have blamed my siblings for doing that?
You have a special family now.
Yes, and the thing I tell people is, had they suggested that at that age, I would have gone along with the program because they would know better. I would have gone along. I thank God every day that was never an option that they presented, never an option. And so for them,
you never heard it discussed.
Never.
No one looked at you and said,
never.
Isn't that amazing?
That is so amazing, and especially during that time period, the 70s. Listen, that was so for my family. They have always been and continue to be such a strong foundation.
Special, aren't
I am telling you, I don't know how people survive without that kind of family. I don't know how they survive.
It's called the love chain.
Yes, I don't know how they survive. But yes, and then they have impacted my son to this day. Like they are, he knows what the role they played in his life after he was born, so he knows.
Now, does he understand what you went through?
I think he does.
Have you had a chance to talk with him?
I think he does, not in depth about the shame factor, but knowing him, he'll pick up on it. Now, one thing he used to jokingly say, "Now, Mommy," because look here, I think we kind of grew up together. We'll be together, and people think I'm his sister. And he said, "Mommy, you blocking my hustle."
You were pregnant with him, and you went through this very dark period of shame, and you grew up together.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're his sister."
Yeah, that's how it looked when we were out in public. You know, you say, "You're blocking my hustle. That girl wants to check me out, and you're kind of blocking my hustle because they think." I said, "No." I said, "Boy, anybody watch you right now, right?" But yeah.
Christine, in that same family group, there's a very powerful guy sitting next to me, member of our armed forces. He said, "Hello, Mommy."
That was amazing.
Why did he say Mommy? And I looked at you. So I thought, did you mean your son came back? Because I know this guy, and I didn't realize he was connected to you. He said, "Hello, Mommy." Why did he say that?
Because his mom had a similar experience to mine. And
So he was born to his mother, and she was what?
She was 14.
So hearing your story, like this is often in the family, he
Yes.
said, "Hello, mommy." What did you feel when he said that?
I may not have displayed it on the outside, but that stopped me. Like, and when he said, "Hello, mommy," not only that, when he says, in essence, he was saying, you know, I understand you were young, but you raised me the best way. It was like listening to my son, my biological son.
You know, God does that in the family many times.
I am telling
He
you.
reconstitutes the early family trauma. He puts the healing in the midst. When he called you mother, he was saying, "I'm here to heal."
We connected. And that was the first time, the first day we had ever laid eyes on each other. And we connected.
But do you know what happened that night before?
Yeah.
I was up with him because he is
Yeah.
was loaded and he was going to pull his gun on himself. And that morning he calls his Alan, you know. He's brought so many people to the family over the years. And that's common. And he said, you know, I'll bring anybody this time. I'm bringing me because last night it was just a matter of time. And I said, look, man, thank you so much. But when he said, "Hello, mommy," he connected to you.
Yes.
And you gave him hope. Did you realize that?
I didn't realize it until you said it. But we have been in touch. And whenever I say
You're still in
anything,
contact?
yes, we are. And I talk to him as though that is my biological son.
Because he was
Because,
planning to kill himself that night.
yes. And I
And that
said,
morning
no.
he came and I said, well, you know, did some stuff. And I said, come to the family. And then he mentions, he says, "Hello, Mom." So you all bonded and you all are still bonded.
Yes. Because I cannot imagine
of people,
my
right?
biological son going through something like that, you know? And
Well,
so,
in the
yes,
Bahamas, a lot of men are going through it
Yeah.
now.
there's a lot of pressure
A
on
lot
them.
of pressure. We just can't see how to make it sometime. But we need that chain of what? That's all the family is a chain of love.
Yes.
That was touching. He said, "Hello, mommy."
Yeah, that
Did you hear?
really,
First I said, "What is this?"
that stopped me. I looked at him and I was like,
Big fella, right?
in my head, I was saying, what? But I don't think I had ever heard what he said. When he said that and the things he said, it made me look at my life from the child's perspective. That he's saying, okay, that was a terrible thing that happened at that age, but you did the best you could to raise me. And it was like listening to my son say that, you know?
And your son was coming to Nassau the next day.
Yes, and
It
he
like
was
a
here, and it was
coincidence of
beautiful.
spirit.
Yeah, yeah.
What was it like having a son come the next day? Did you think of the experience?
Absolutely, and I was telling him, I told him, I said, I have another son now as well. He said, "Mommy, you're always gathering children." So that was a normal thing for him. I said, "This is the newest one, okay? This is the newest son."
And you have a school
Yes.
as well, right?
Yes, I have a school.
You love children.
And
Do you think that all figures in?
I think it does.
That you found love, the love change saved your life, and so now you're creating a space or a tree for children to be sheltered.
The school was originally started for kids who struggle academically, but one thing that I have built into the school that is not on paper is if a young lady who has had a child wants to continue her education, I will make space. I always tell them I'll back over my desk.
God bless you. What's the name of the school?
Pace Christian Academy.
Pace Christian.
Because I was there.
Say what you said again. If a young lady got pregnant.
And she wants to continue her education, I will make space for her. Because sometimes
Tell
it's
the
difficult.
Audience that it's called Pace
The school
Academy?
is Pace Christian Academy. And especially if a young lady comes and she's had a child and she wants to continue her education, I will make space for her because I think it's so important. I think that had I not been able to go back to school, I wonder what my life would look like professionally. And so if they're serious, and we've had many girls come through our school, sometimes the teachers don't know that she's had a child. I always tell them, they will only know what you tell them. I'm not going to broadcast, but I know. And to see them able to finish school, go on to have careers. The last one is in her 3rd year of college, hit the road running and has been on the president's list since from she got there. And I'm thinking, to God be the glory, because she's going to be able to make way so that she can support her child. Right now, she has a good support system. Her parents are helping her with the child while she's there. And I remember my family, right? And so when she is done and she can provide for her and the child, that's one less burden to society, number one. But what that did to her to be able to come back to school, and she excelled, you know. And so those kinds of stories galvanizes me so that let's continue this, because it makes one life at a time. It makes a difference.
So beautiful.
And really, I think that had I not gone through that experience of being a teen mom, I may not have been able to empathize with someone in the same situation. So all the things that I went through, God used that as a foundation for me to do what I'm doing now. And so I always go back to beauty for ashes. What
Again,
could have beauty for
Explain.
ashes?
Beauty for ashes.
What could have been a traumatic, life-changing, possibly not ending, but stagnating thing for life, God used that to bring beauty out of it, not only for myself, but for other people as well. Beauty for ashes. So what the devil intended for evil, God has turned that around for good. And I feel so privileged to know God, because not only did he forgive me, see, he doesn't only forgive, he restores. And that restoration.
Explain. God not only forgives, he does
He
what?
restores. Because he could forgive you right there, but he restores. You know, like the story of Job, that everything the locusts took, God returned to him. And so God used that period. I'm going to forgive you. Yes, what you did was not what I would have wanted. But now I'm going to restore you to a place and bring you back so that you are now able to help somebody else.
It's beautiful. Like you said, beauty instead of ashes. We're going to take a break and be right back.